Most people over 60 are doing too much to stay healthy. More pills, more supplements, more routines. But what if the real key to a longer life isn't adding more, but knowing what to let go of? After more than a decade working with older adults, I've seen something again and again. Those who age the best aren't the ones trying to out-supplement aging. They're the ones who've learned to live smarter. They recognize that energy is limited and they've made peace with doing less of what quietly steals it. In a culture that celebrates effort, hustle, and always doing more, this might sound counterintuitive. But past a certain age, your biology and peace of mind start asking for something else: selectivity. Longevity doesn't come from doing everything, it often comes from having the wisdom to stop doing the wrong things. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. This isn't a video about extreme diets or miracle routines. This is about 10 everyday habits that may seem harmless, normal even, but could be quietly shortening your life. What if the thoughts that never come true are the ones silently stealing your health? Some of the things we repeat every single day, like constant worry, sitting too long, or eating late at night, might seem small, but over time they act like slow toxins, draining your energy, disrupting your sleep, and aging you from the inside out. And here's the twist: this isn't about fear, it's about freedom. These are habits you can change gently, practically, without overhauling your life. In fact, sometimes just becoming aware is enough to shift the way you move through your day. From all the people I've worked with who've lived well into their 80s and 90s, I can tell you this: they've stopped trying to control everything. They've made peace with what they can't change and fiercely protect what they can. So today, I want to invite you on a different kind of journey. Not the path of more, but of less but better. We'll explore 10 habits you can let go of, along with the science, psychology, and real-life wisdom behind each one. Some of them may surprise you. Some might even feel uncomfortably familiar. And that's okay. If something makes you pause or reflect, that's your body asking you to pay attention. Don't ignore it. If you've ever felt tired for no clear reason, if your sleep is off, your thoughts are foggy, your energy flat, it might not be about age. It might be about what you're still carrying that no longer serves you. And if that hit home, I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead, drop a comment below and tell me what's one small habit you've been holding on to that might be draining you more than it's helping. Your story might be the exact spark someone else needs. While you're here, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this channel is a space where aging means wisdom, not weakness. Growing older isn't always easy, but it can be deeply powerful. And that power begins the moment you stop doing what weighs you down. If you're ready, let's move forward with the first habit that could be quietly aging you from the inside, and how to let it go, gently and wisely. 1. Constant worry over small things. What if the thoughts that never come true are the ones quietly stealing your health? Worry has a way of slipping into your day without asking permission. A fleeting "what if" here, a small fear there, and suddenly your mind is spiraling or replaying past conversations, imagining future problems, or overthinking something as simple as a minor comment from a neighbor. In my years working with older adults, I've seen this mental chatter become one of the most underestimated threats to well-being. While a little concern is natural, chronic worry, especially over things we can't control, acts like a slow poison. It doesn't just keep you up at night, it wears on your heart, your digestion, your immune system, and your peace of mind. Science backs this up. Long-term stress shortens telomeres, those tiny protective ends on your DNA, which accelerates cellular aging. But even without the science, you've likely felt it: that tightness in your chest, the clenched jaw, the 3 a.m. restlessness. And here's what's most striking: many of the things we worry about never even happen. I've had clients in their 70s tell me, "I wasted decades worrying about things that never came true." Letting go of constant worry isn't carelessness, it's wisdom. It's choosing what's worth your energy. One question I teach my clients is simple: is this mine to carry? And if not, we practice setting it down. The people who age with the most grace often have one thing in common: they've made peace with uncertainty. They breathe through the unknown, protect their nervous system, and choose calm where they once chose control. It's not about being unaffected, it's about being selective. So if you find yourself trapped in loops of small worries, try pausing and asking, is this helping me heal, or feeding the fear? Your nervous system will know the answer before your mind does. And as we move on, let's look at another hidden habit that seems innocent until it quietly begins weakening your body from the inside out. Let's talk about sitting. 2. Sitting too long without movement. You may not smoke, but are you doing something even deadlier every single day? It might shock you to know that prolonged sitting is now being called the new smoking by doctors, and for good reason. In my 10+ years working with older adults, I've seen the subtle damage it causes. It begins innocently: a morning coffee in front of the TV, reading the paper, maybe a few hours on the couch or at the dining table. Before you know it, an entire day has passed without meaningful movement. And it's not laziness, it's habit. But here's what your body's trying to tell you: it was made to move. Long periods of sitting slow circulation, weaken muscles, stiffen joints, and increase inflammation. Even if you go for a short walk in the morning, the damage still builds up if the rest of your day is sedentary. I've seen clients with rising blood pressure, back pain, fatigue, even brain fog, all linked back to one thing: too much stillness. One client once told me, "I thought I was resting, but really I was slowly shutting my body down." Movement doesn't have to mean marathons. It means standing up every 30 minutes, stretching while your tea brews, walking during phone calls, or gently shifting position while you sit. These small acts keep your system engaged and your health intact. People who live long, vibrant lives stay in motion, not frantically, but consistently. They garden, tidy up, take the stairs, or simply pace while they talk. It's not about working out, it's about working with your body. So the next time you catch yourself sitting for hours, take that as a loving signal from your body. It wants to be alive, not idle. And as we continue, there's another daily habit that often goes unnoticed, but it can disrupt your sleep, strain your heart, and steal your energy overnight. Let's talk about late-night eating. 3. Eating too close to bedtime. The one habit millions think is harmless until their sleep, liver, and heart all suffer at once is eating late at night. For decades, many of us were told that a bedtime snack was no big deal. In fact, for some, it was part of a comforting evening ritual. But the truth is, your body sees it differently, especially after 60. I've seen so many older adults struggle with restless nights, acid reflux, weight gain, and morning fatigue, not realizing that their late evening meals were silently working against them. Here's why: after sunset, your metabolism naturally slows down. Your organs begin to shift into repair mode and your digestive system wants to rest. But when you eat, especially heavy, greasy, or sugary foods, your body is forced back into active mode. Instead of healing, it's digesting. And that shift can disrupt not only your sleep but also your heart rhythm, hormone balance, and even blood pressure. One of my clients once said, "I thought eating helped me sleep until I stopped doing it and finally woke up feeling rested." Giving your body at least 2 to 3 hours between dinner and bedtime allows your system to do what it was designed to do: restore. This overnight fast helps your liver detox, your brain recalibrate, and your energy rebuild. And here's the beauty of it: you're not adding anything new to your life. You're simply removing one small thing that's been silently causing harm. The change can be powerful. Many people report improved sleep, less bloating, and lighter mornings within just a few days. If you've been eating late for years, don't feel guilty, feel empowered. Your body is always waiting for the chance to heal. And as we move into the next section, we're going to uncover a habit that's not about food or movement, but emotion. It's something many of us have been taught to suppress. Yet holding it in could be harming your health more than you realize. Let's talk about unspoken emotions. 4. Suppressing your emotions. This may be the real reason your blood pressure won't go down, and it has nothing to do with salt. The truth is, there's a quiet kind of damage that builds up when we spend years swallowing our feelings. For many older adults, especially those raised to be polite, composed, or the strong one in the family, suppressing emotions becomes second nature. But what we don't express doesn't disappear. It settles into the body. I've seen it time and again. Grief that turns into chronic chest tightness, unspoken resentment that shows up as tension headaches, or fear masked by insomnia. When you bottle up emotions like anger, sadness, or worry, your nervous system stays stuck in a low-level fight-or-flight state. Your heart races, your muscles tighten, your digestion slows, and your immune system suffers. Over time, this emotional pressure can manifest as high blood pressure, inflammation, sleep issues, even autoimmune disorders. But here's the truth. Giving yourself permission to feel isn't weakness. It's vitality. You don't need to become loud or dramatic. Sometimes, it starts with a simple sentence: "That hurt me," or "I need space," or even, "I'm not okay right now." The healthiest elders I know, the ones who are clear-eyed and steady in their 80s, aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who let emotion move through them instead of letting it harden inside. Some write in a journal. Some pray. Some cry on the porch when no one's looking. But they don't carry emotional weight for years. They release it. So if you've been keeping it all in for the sake of peace, I invite you to ask yourself, whose peace am I protecting, and at what cost? Your body remembers everything you bury. And when you begin to speak your truth, even quietly, your body responds, with softer shoulders, deeper sleep, steadier breath. As we move forward, we'll explore another hidden culprit behind inflammation, brain fog and fatigue. Sweet, addictive, and hiding in more places than you think. Let's talk about processed sugar. 5. Consuming too much refined sugar. The sweet habit silently destroying memory, mood, and muscles. One spoon at a time isn't always what you think. Refined sugar has a way of slipping into your life without warning. A teaspoon in your morning coffee, a bite of cake at your grandchild's birthday, a glass of juice you thought was healthy. On their own, these moments seem innocent. But over time, they stack up like invisible weights on your metabolism, your brain, and your immune system. I've seen so many older adults struggle with fatigue, brain fog, and mood swings, not realizing that sugar was quietly hijacking their clarity and energy. The older we get, the more sensitive our bodies become to sugar's effects. What your body handled with ease in your 30s can now spike your blood sugar, raise inflammation, and stress your kidneys, liver, and even your heart. And because sugar triggers dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, it keeps you coming back, even when your body is asking for less. Research continues to link excessive sugar intake to type 2 diabetes, cognitive decline, and even increased risk of Alzheimer's. But here's the hopeful part. Cutting back doesn't mean cutting joy. In fact, many of my clients tell me that once they reduced processed sugar, their taste buds reset, their energy stabilized, and their mind felt clearer, like a fog had lifted. Choosing naturally sweet foods like berries, apples, or a small piece of dark chocolate allows you to enjoy sweetness without spiking stress in your body. And sometimes, just becoming aware of where sugar hides, in cereals, condiments, sauces, even so-called healthy bars, is enough to shift your habits. If this speaks to you, I encourage you to share in the comments. What's one sugary habit you've let go of, or want to? Your story could inspire someone else to take that first small step. And as we continue, we'll uncover another overlooked signal from your body, one that most people ignore, even though it holds the key to repair, memory, and immunity. Let's talk about sleep, and why ignoring its signals may be aging you faster than you realize. 6. Ignoring your body's sleep signals. You don't just lose sleep, you lose healing, memory, and years of your life. Yet for many older adults, brushing off the signs of tiredness has become a quiet habit. You stay up to finish a show, scroll through your phone just a few more minutes, or tell yourself, I'm not that tired, even when your eyelids grow heavy. But here's what I've learned after over a decade working with aging adults. When your body whispers that it's time to rest, and you ignore it, there's always a cost. Sleep isn't just about feeling refreshed the next morning. It's when your brain flushes out toxins, your immune system rebuilds, and your hormones reset. Skipping that natural window of rest, even by an hour or two, can disrupt your entire rhythm. I've seen people in their 60s and 70s suffer from memory lapses, weight gain, anxiety, and even blood pressure spikes, all rooted in sleep deprivation they didn't even recognize. Bright lights late at night, caffeine after 3 p.m., or falling asleep with the TV on. All of these can keep your nervous system in alert mode, blocking deep restorative sleep. And there's a myth we need to challenge. You don't need less sleep just because you're older. In truth, your body craves the same amount. It just may not know how to find it anymore. That's why one of the most powerful things you can do for your longevity is simple. Honor your body's bedtime cues. Notice when your focus fades, when your body slows, when your breath deepens. Create a ritual. Dim the lights, power down screens, sip a calming tea. These signals teach your body it's safe to rest. And if you've been ignoring sleep for years, know this. It's never too late to rebuild your relationship with rest. As we move on, we're going to explore something more emotional, yet just as vital to your health. It's not about your body or food. It's about connection and the danger that creeps in when you start to feel alone. Let's talk about isolation. 7. Social isolation. This one quiet habit increases your risk of death more than smoking, and no one sees it coming. The danger of isolation isn't always obvious. It doesn't shout or knock loudly. It settles in slowly, when days pass without meaningful conversation, when you stop reaching out because people are busy, or when it just feels easier to stay quiet than to connect. I've met many older adults who said, "I'm used to being alone." But over time, I could see the toll on their mood, their memory, and even their physical health. Studies now show that chronic loneliness can be just as harmful to your body as obesity or chain smoking. It weakens the immune system, increases inflammation, and accelerates cognitive decline. And yet, unlike a physical illness, it's easy to hide, easy to dismiss, easy to normalize. But let me say this clearly. Even the most independent among us are wired for connection. We need it, especially after 60, when roles shift, routines fade, and the world grows a little quieter. Connection doesn't have to mean big social gatherings. It can be a 5-minute phone call, a short walk with a neighbor, or even a heartfelt comment under this video. If this resonates with you, I encourage you to share below. Who's one person you haven't spoken to in a while, but could reach out to today? Just naming them might be the first step back toward connection. Because those who age well don't always have crowds, but they rarely isolate. They keep a few close ties and nurture them like lifelines. And when they feel low, they reach out, even when it's awkward, even when it's hard. As we continue, let's shift from the emotional to something more practical, but equally damaging when ignored. It's a habit that seems harmless, even productive, but it may be sabotaging your digestion, your blood sugar, and your ability to feel full. Let's talk about rushing through your meals. 8. Rushing through your meals. Your stomach is begging you to slow down. So is your brain. But are you listening? In a world that rewards speed, many of us carry that habit into the one place it doesn't belong. The dining table. I've seen older adults scarf down a full meal in under 5 minutes. Standing at the kitchen counter, distracted by the TV, or simply eating out of routine without tasting a single bite. And here's what most people don't realize. When you rush through meals, you don't just miss the flavor. You miss the signal that tells your body it's had enough. Your brain needs about 20 minutes to recognize fullness. Eat too fast, and you're likely to overeat, spike your blood sugar, and overwhelm your digestion. I've had clients complain about bloating, indigestion, and fatigue only to find that their real problem wasn't what they ate, but how they ate it. Aging naturally slows down digestion, making mindful eating even more essential. But there's something deeper too. Meals are more than just fuel, they're a daily chance to pause, reflect, and reconnect. When you eat slowly, you engage your senses. You notice warmth, texture, aroma. You chew more fully, breathe more deeply, and give your nervous system a chance to settle. One woman I worked with began a simple ritual, putting her fork down between bites. Within a week, she felt more satisfied with less food, had fewer stomach issues, and even felt calmer after meals. So if your meals have become just another task to finish, this is your invitation to slow down. Even 5 minutes more at the table can change the way your body and your mind digest life. And if you've been eating on autopilot, try this. At your next meal, sit down, take a breath, and really taste the moment. As we move forward, let's look beyond the plate and into the environments we live in, the ones we often tolerate for years, even when they quietly drain our health. It's time to talk about toxic surroundings. 9. Staying in toxic environments, emotional exposure. Your body keeps score even when your heart pretends everything's okay. This is one of the hardest truths I've had to share with older adults over the years. So many of us stay in emotionally toxic environments not because we don't know better, but because we've grown used to it. We tell ourselves it's just how it is, or we stay quiet to keep the peace, even when that silence costs us dearly. I've worked with seniors who lived for decades in homes filled with tension, where criticism was constant, love came with conditions, or the air itself felt heavy with unspoken resentment. And over time, I saw how their bodies reacted. Headaches, insomnia, digestive issues, high blood pressure. These weren't random, they were the symptoms of stress absorbed day after day. Toxic environments don't always look dramatic. Sometimes they're subtle, the uneasy feeling in your chest when someone walks into the room, the pressure to avoid speaking up, or the dread of a conversation that never ends well. Your nervous system knows, even if your mind tries to explain it away. And the longer you stay in that emotional storm, the more your health begins to erode. But here's what I want you to know, peace isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. You don't have to burn every bridge or walk away from every relationship. Sometimes, the first step is setting a boundary. Taking space. Saying no without guilt. The people who age well tend to build environments that feel safe physically, mentally, and emotionally. They choose stillness over chaos, solitude over drama. If this resonates with you, drop a comment. What's one space, internal or external, you want to detox from this year? Your body is listening. And now let's shift to a habit that's less about people and more about what you put into your system, something that might feel comforting, but when overused, can slowly rob your clarity and vitality. Let's talk about alcohol and self-medication. 10. Overusing alcohol or medication, sleep aids, sedatives, painkillers. What used to help you sleep is now stealing your clarity, one dose at a time. As we age, our bodies process everything differently: food, emotions, even the substances we once trusted to help us unwind. A glass of wine that once brought comfort now disrupts sleep. A pill that once calmed anxiety now leaves your thoughts foggy. I've worked with countless older adults who started using sleep aids or occasional drinks just to take the edge off. At first, it felt harmless, even helpful. But over time, I watched it shift from a tool into a quiet dependency. They didn't feel rested anymore. They didn't feel clear. That's because aging changes how our body handles substances. With less muscle mass and slower liver function, alcohol and medications stay in your system longer, hit harder, and recover slower. What once helped you relax may now be disturbing your balance, memory, and even mood. And that fog? That grogginess? That emotional numbness? It's your body telling you something isn't working anymore. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy a glass of wine or use prescribed medication when needed. But it does mean becoming more intentional. Ask yourself, is this helping me heal or helping me avoid? Because healing and avoiding often look the same at first. The difference shows up in how you feel afterward. I've seen incredible transformations when people begin replacing nightly pills with warm baths, gentle stretches, chamomile tea, or heartfelt conversations. These things don't just soothe your nervous system, they nourish it. So if something you've relied on no longer feels right, know this: it's never too late to reevaluate. Not out of guilt, but out of self-respect. Your clarity, balance, and independence matter. And as we close this journey through the 10 habits that quietly shape our longevity, stay with me. Because up next is the final reflection, one that ties it all together. It's not just about adding years to your life, but life to your years. Let's bring it home. OUTRO, let go to heal, do less to live more. The less you do what drains you, the more space you create for what restores you. That's not just a phrase, it's a truth I've witnessed again and again in the lives of those who age with strength, clarity, and peace. Maybe you came into this video thinking that longevity was about adding more exercise, more supplements, more routines. But perhaps now you're starting to see that less can be just as powerful. Less stress, less sitting, less sugar, less emotional weight, less noise in the body and in the mind. So I invite you now to take a quiet breath and ask yourself, which of these 10 habits is quietly shaping the way you age? Not the loud ones, not the obvious ones, but the one that's been part of your daily rhythm for years. The one that feels small but feels familiar. That's where change begins, not with willpower, but with awareness. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Often, the most profound healing starts by letting go of just one thing that no longer serves you. That's it. One small shift. One decision to stop doing what chips away at your energy, your peace, your years. And I'd love to know which one spoke to you the most today. Share it in the comments. That single reflection might give someone else the courage to pause, to question, to change. If you found value here, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next. Because we're building more than a channel, we're building a movement. One where aging isn't feared, it's honored. Where health is earned not through intensity, but through intention. And remember, it's not always about adding more to live longer. Sometimes the real path to longevity begins when you finally give yourself permission to do less. Thank you for being here. Until next time, stay wise, stay kind, and stay well.